Hi, I'm here to talk about online learning and our experiences so far. So my name is William Yu and I'm a faculty member at the Department of Information Systems and Computer Science, the Ateneo de Manila University. So what you're seeing right now is a class that I currently teach on parallel processing and big data processing. So this is a graduate and undergraduate student class. So this is our course management system called Moodle. As you can see, there's usual aspects of course management. You have some common course items, announcements, forums, the class syllabus, and all the common items used in the class. I will go through what the base course management system looks like and what we had before the quarantine. And as you will see in this very short session, you will see how it transitions to a full learn from home environment as opposed to something that was just complementary to how I taught classes before. So this first part is basically what I created at the start of the SEM, not thinking that we would actually be in quarantine or in lockdown for a really long period of time. So the common course items, you have your forum, policies, things that are common and posted to the class, and some templates for the research papers. My contact information is here, and I would have common references. So common references are basically things that are prerequisite to the class or supplementary. This is a big data class, so I teach things like Hadoop and Python, scikit-learn, and all of that. Those are the tools that I cover in this class. So here are some reference materials for that. They come in various forms. Some are links to websites, some are slide decks that I've created. This is example a slide deck of a different course. So if you notice, these are complementary materials that help a student throughout the SEM pre-COVID. Then all the lectures for an entire SEM are placed here. So these are the pre-COVID lecture materials. You will see slides. So this is an example of a slide deck, right? Then you will see examples of source code here as well. This is an example of source code, right? And so on and so forth. And the different languages I teach in the class. Some of them are specific, like this particular source code here will load in a platform called Google Laboratory. This is a Python notebook, so it doesn't render well in this browser, right? Pre-COVID, I would post all the slides and all the code for the entire class. And as I progress through the class, I would do a lecture. I would use the slide material here, and I would give them quizzes and assignments. Quizzes are done during the class. I tend to give a quiz every day, quiz or seat work daily. I meet the class just once a week, and I give them a homework or an assignment. So these were the assignments and homeworks I gave before the quarantine. And this was the project session. We never really got to this. Then midway through the semester, quarantine hit. We were told to, hunker down and try to attempt to learn from home. This was the first week of learn from home class. So you notice it still has the materials. The slides are here. I moved it from the top to here so that it's now on a week per week basis, so that students know which week they are referring to and what material. For this week, we're covering a Hadoop tool called Hive, right? That is basically used for big data processing with SQL-like syntax. You will see my slide here, and you will see sample source code here. Then I have a YouTube video where I myself go through the instructions of setting up Hive, using it, running an example, right? So that students can actually follow. All of this are asynchronous. This one is a Hangouts link to an actual Hangouts session, right? So in this case, it's done, where I would actually meet students, and this one is actually a synchronous activity. Right? So that's Hangout. So I do that once a week during the first part of the quarantine. And I give a seat work because this is a very hands-on class. Fortunately for me, all of the activities are doable online, so they can download the source code, they can download the tools, install it on their laptops, or run it in the cloud. In my case, I use AWS a lot, so it simply runs in the cloud. So I leave a seat work that's due quicker, so normally within the day, and an assignment that's due for the entire week. And for this particular class, I actually ran a survey, right, which we will cover later. Then for week 2, it would roughly follow the same format. Slides, materials, and Hangouts is an actual live lecture. At this particular point in time, there was no guidance yet on grading, so we still gave assessment exercise, but we were told to make it optional. That's why it's optional here. Again, there is a YouTube video in case they can't join the Hangout class itself. Then there is a common discussion forum where students can post their questions, and I would answer them, or their fellow students could answer them, to simulate asynchronous discussions. They also have chat groups outside of Moodle, which they use to discuss amongst themselves, of course, providing quote-unquote psychological safety. You notice at this particular point, all the activities have now become optional, given the memo that was released at around March 20, I believe. So again, this is just a quick view on how it's done, so how I did it. So transition from Moodle just to complement, just a place to put my slides and code, and to collect the assignments. All my quizzes are self-grading, right? So they automatically check themselves, and that's why the seatworks and assignments are the ones that is used for more hands-on activities, right? So that's that for my way of doing. So this is like pre-Moodle, and this one here is post-Moodle, where I think things would happen after the quarantine. I think we would still be using more and more of these. Now, I and my department are probably exceptions to the rule, but we would probably see more people use course management systems like Moodle. We would probably put materials, at least start with slide decks, and maybe at some point in time they would do some quizzes. It's really nice because it checks itself if it's multiple choice, and it can tell the students whether the answer is right or wrong. As a faculty member, you can actually also determine where students made a mistake. So for example, I'm simulating a student right now, so I will go back to my normal role. If you notice, in my normal role there's a lot more material. If the quarantine didn't happen, these were the things that would have, I could have given the students. If you look at the quiz, you can actually look at the attempts. I can look at which questions are good or bad, how people did, right, which questions they had. So I can actually also maintain it. I have a database of questions that actually tell us, or me, for example, it's like a pool of questions that I can use. Okay, then for the survey, I did a survey and on Moodle and its performance as well. So when I did the Hangouts and the like, so that one was done here, and we can look at the results. So the responses. So let's not look at who did it. So most people were satisfied. There were two that were not, right? Actually, the strange thing about this is the first time I did my Hangouts class was the first time people attended and got to class on time. So I have a fairly large class and people don't normally attend on time. It was the first time they actually attended on time. So here, this is the feedback I got. So half of the well, a little more than half. So there are 20 responses. I've probably around 36 students, so more than half responded. So quite good response rate. 2 were, not so satisfied, and we will see later on why. So internet connectivity, I think I am fortunate. Majority of my students have fixed broadband. Only 20% are using mobile, and only 11% are using mobile. So majority have a fixed broadband connectivity, which is quite good. If you notice, the 2 that were unhappy are also the 2 that did not have good internet connectivity. So I think internet connectivity is one of the key things we must really get right here. Hangout session, they were all able to connect, so which is fortunate for me. A lot of them were satisfied with the activities. So logging in, the video, screen sharing. So screen sharing, not there were like a problem, because again, the problem with being synchronous is the bandwidth requirements are higher. Asynchronous is you can watch them, you can pre-download them, so it's a lot more forgiving, right? So this one is probably the issue with the connectivity as well. Logistics, it's the same thing. The issue was really the Hangouts here. So the only issue, the same two people who had problems with connectivity or people with problems here. That was also reflected here in the comments. The YouTube video people found the most useful. Sample code in YouTube video, again, and Moodle itself. Hangouts, well, kinda relevant, but not that strong, but still highly relevant. People prefer asynchronous, of course, because they get to submit when they want to, right? So, for example, if you're a night worker, you can work at night. If you're a day worker, you can work at the day. So that is also quite useful for them. And given a choice, would they continue to attend online classes? I think majority did. And 1 out of the 2 with internet connectivity problems would do that as well. We even worked out a plan in the department to give out, dongles for those who have connectivity problems. Again, events, happen faster than our ability to adjust to them, but at least we are able to at least try, right? So that's it for my quick, view on my class, and hope you guys have a good day.